Take two. Hello, everyone. My name is Tubasa. I didn't realize I recorded this video and with the MacBook audio instead of my mic until I listened back and was like, "Why does that sound weird?" Anyhow, today we have an entry that is from yesterday, July 17th, 2025. Today I'm getting ready for my second to last move out time. It's a bit wild to think that this channel I started primarily in this room, not this room, but my apartment. So much has changed over this year. I had a girlfriend, voted, talked for hours with my roommate, played even more hours on my Xbox, listened to so much ASMR trying to sleep, made my first piece of clothing, started a regular workout routine, graduated, got a 40-hour job, got into a master's program, lost a friend, gained many friends, strengthened my existing friendships, made music, read a bit of manga, listened to so much music, played some amazing video games like Batman Arkham Knight and Majora's Mask, started to watch Hajime no Ippo the Fighting, cried some, yelled some, argued some, felt utterly destroyed some, laughed a lot, forgave quite a bit, and, well, lived. I bet there's more I did, but such things have left me. I think this next coming year and the year after, I'm going to limit my Xbox time because I've had dreams that I genuinely want to explore and pursue. I've had my fun becoming good at something. Now I just wish to only continue the fun elsewhere. It's been pretty obvious, but I do have an addiction to gaming, although I cannot say that it's primarily my fault. Some games are just built that way, to suck you in, give you FOMO. I know it's going to be hard to pull away, but that doesn't mean I can't. I've been working on another addiction over the past couple of months, and I think I've seen some success. I just need to apply it to something I spent so much time, money, and effort on. And at the top, I have my 2 goals written that I want to accomplish. The first goal is I'm going to write 8 hours and publish it. 8 hours being the title of a book, so I want to write something. And that book is going to be based off of Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I think it'll be a very interesting book, and I have already the layout in my head for how I want to write it. And the second goal is that I'm going to create and sell a coat. Maybe not sell it, I don't know how far it'll go, but I do want to create this winter coat idea that I've had it brewing in the back of my mind for a really long time. And this addiction to gaming, now that I've graduated and now I'm given, if you will, this second chance almost to still be a student, go to school and have a job and be close to family. I really want to capitalize on the time that I have, because the way I have always ran things is go to school, go to work, play video games, boom, done. That's great and all. I get that mentally. Sometimes I'm exhausted. But sometimes I've noticed throughout my day that I get anxious when I'm not playing Apex, or I get really, really bored just in general doing other things when I'm not playing Apex. And so I really want to switch this mentality in my mind, because I feel like this is legitimately just an addiction. And I don't want to have this feeling of oh my gosh, I need to be on Apex. Because even right now, I have this feeling oh, I want to get on Apex. And what ends up happening is that it ends up sucking out so much time that I could be using for other more productive things. Now, yes, I do stream. Yes, I do post the streams onto YouTube, and you can consider that to be some sort of product for people to consume as entertainment. However, with these 2 goals that I have, I feel like the lasting impacts that these 2 things will have will be a lot more than streaming, just hands down. If I write a book, I want this book to be one of the best things. I'm going to pour my heart and soul into it. I already have, like I said, an outline for how I want this thing written. And so I need to just start it and get it done and have it edited and learn how am I supposed to properly write a book. And not properly, because there's many ways to do it. If you know House of Leaves, there really is no rules to how you write. It's more so of what you're writing about. And I really want this book to be something that really comes from my heart that I feel like reflects not only myself but my love for music, and implementing it into a book. The second thing is the coat. This coat idea is something that I've had for a really long time after I've made my jacket, and I felt like that I want, like, if I can make this coat and show it off at like a catwalk or something, or some fashion show, someone might think about it and want to pick it up. And I want to get it patented and everything, so they'd have to buy the patent. But I feel like this coat idea is so great, and it's like my $1 million idea. I need to just make it so other people don't jump the gun and in a sense, like, steal my idea. Obviously, they're not stealing it. They're just making it earlier than I am. So if I don't jump on this idea now, I might miss the opportunity to capitalize on it, and someone else just might come along and do what I wanted to do. And that is a feeling that I don't want to have happen. Because funnily enough, I've had it kind of happen. There's a movie about Harriet Tubman, and the music score, the main theme, was something very similar to something I created like a couple months before I even watched the movie. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is great that someone else has thought about the same, like, melodic, structure as me. But the fact that I didn't do anything about it before they did, like, the competitiveness in me is like, I could have capitalized on this, I could have written the score for this movie. Obviously, I was probably not even 18 at the time, but point being is that these dreams, I don't want them to be dreams anymore. I want them to be a reality. And the wake-up call for this and this whole switch came from Tyler, the Creator, of all people, in which, in his album Call Me If You Get Lost, there's 2 lines that have stuck out to me. One of them is just like this talk that he's having where he's like, if you want, do what you want to do in life, do what you love, in that, like, because that's your luxury. Something along the lines of that. And it just made me think about, like, making this coat or making this book is just something that I really want to do. It is my luxury. And there can be opportunity off of this that could change my life forever. Like, who knows, maybe the coat blows up, or maybe the book blows up, and it's like one of the best things that has ever graced the country, or something like that. I don't know. And then my life would change, ultimately, completely different. Like, my life would literally change because I've put work and effort into these things. The other lyric that he says is something where he's like, when you're in your room looking up with a feeling, I want you to know that there is no ceiling. And that, to me, I always think about it, because the ceiling in my head right now are these dreams. And I need to realize that, Apex and having this gaming addiction is keeping that ceiling there. I need to rip the ceiling of dreams off so I can see the reality that they are there, that I can make them. And so these next 2 years, what I'm planning on doing is implementing a strategy to decrease the amount of time I spend on these video games so I can be more productive. And the method I'm using is a method I've used for a while now against lewd content, because that's something that I have been struggling with, like, for years, like literal year, like almost a decade almost. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I had enough. Like, I don't want this stuff. I don't want it in my feed. I don't want this and that. So one of the things I've done is, like, for media, like if I'm on Instagram, for instance, is self-sabotage. I'll click on corny memes. I'll click on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stuff. I will click on random videos of a Japanese guy playing a Japanese instrument. He's always smiling in those videos. He's very wholesome. But I'll do that because I want the phone to reprogram itself to say, oh, this person wants this kind of content now. They want this. Because what ends up happening is, if I click on something lewd, it'll do the same thing where it thinks about that, and it'll just keep spewing it out. And then it's all I see. And then that becomes the catalyst to doing, pretty self-serving things. If you can read between the lines, you know what I'm talking about. And I've been cutting it out by self-sabotaging my phone. And then not only that, but when those temptations do kick in, I'm not using my phone as like a reinforcement to the idea. And in a sense, I don't want to, like, I don't look at it when I give in, because I don't want it to be something reinforced, and I don't want to feel dependent on it. And that's the main thing. I don't want to feel like a bitch. Like, I feel if it's so sad when I when I look at myself in a third person view of like, you need a phone for this. Because personally for me, my imagination runs wild and is very vivid and whatnot. But like, what ends up happening is I'm like, shoot, like, I should get a, like, it's like, yeah, I should get a girlfriend. Like, I've always said that, but it's more of like, I can go talk to more people now. I just feel more healthy. I feel less gross, if that makes sense. And this whole like self-sabotage and the cutting off of using it as making myself dependent on it has really helped me over the past months to just reduce what I'm seeing in my feed, and also just reduce the amount of times I'm doing this stuff, and also change how I've been doing it. Because I always look at videos and people are like, if you want to get out of this addiction, you need to like, I don't know if it's always them, because there's also different ways of going about it. But I've always thought like, oh, I just need to cut it off. I need to stop here, and I just need to remove it. But the issue with that is then the withdrawals you get kick back like tenfold, and it's really bad. And so by just literally slowly doing it over the course of, like, kid you not, months, it starts to work a lot more effectively, at least for me. I purely cannot cut something off, because then my brain will, like, if I one day end up coming across it in my feed, it'll just like kick back in immediately, and it's not a good feeling. Whereas if I make it a slow burn, I have progress, and if something comes across it, I'm like, okay, wow, that's pretty hot, but I don't need that. Whatever. And so I feel like just that alone has shown like my progress to removing myself from that side of the internet and social media. With that being said, I hope to implement, like, these tactics to my Xbox, because my gaming the amount of time I've just spent on my Xbox over the past 4 years is crazy compared to some, and downright ludicrous. And the way I think about my Xbox can in turn be considered an addiction, in my opinion. So with that being said, my phone's going off. I think it's my grandma texting me, because we're going to be going to look at fabrics for polo t-shirts that I'm making. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.